Good evening.
Thank you for waiting, sir.
I go by Joseph. My legal name is Giuseppe. So on all my motions and files and briefings, it will show up as Giuseppe Maisano.
Thank you.
I like to be brief very quickly. I can't even get into detail, but just mostly everything that was said here tonight really applies to my case. So very briefly, I'd just like to switch to the very end. I was married and with a person for about 30 years. We had 5 children. Filed for divorce in 2006, 2007. It was decreed. Upon the decree, regardless of the merits of the decree, I had a joint legal custody agreement and also a full parenting plan that was worked out by the highly esteemed attorney, GAL, Mr. Santi. Skipping forward to present, I had 6.5 years. I've barely seen my kids. I haven't seen most of my kids in the last 6.5 years. I've been fighting to see them in court. And with every time not every time, because I only did it once or twice, my motions, especially my motions for custody and contempt, were just summarily ignored and dismissed by the presiding judge, which for the most part has been Judge Priestley. To this very day, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen my youngest son. My youngest 2 sons in 2 years, as well as my older sons who have now aged out. I only have 1 young son who's still a minor, and his mother's always said that she didn't comply with the order because my kids didn't want to come see me anymore. The only thing I'd have to say to that is that I'm a professional engineer. I supported my family, even though I've been out of work for long term because I became unemployable. I stayed at home, and I was a stay-at-home dad for over 20 years. I raised these kids from when they were babies. I cooked, fed them, took them places. I coached them in all kinds of sports. Okay? I taught them everything I could as a responsible Christian father. Now, they don't want to come and see me. I told that to the judge. The judge shrugged her shoulder. She asked her why the kids don't want to come and see me. She shrugged her shoulders. She says, no, they just don't want to go see him. The judge turned around and saying, well, nothing I can do about that.
Is Mr. Santi still your guardian ad litem?
No, I don't know what happened to him. Luckily, he disappeared after I had to pay him for $22,000 for about 6 months worth of work. Okay, and speaking of money, I spent over $150,000 of my savings, mostly out of my retirement account. I had to take 2 personal loans of $100,000. I had to pretty much take everything I have remaining of my savings account to pay for the divorce settlement and for the child support, which I've been incarcerated because I have been having a hard time paying it. And even though I paid it, the same Judge Priestley decided to hold me in contempt because she didn't like the way I paid it according to her order. And she had me jailed until I can come up with another $1,000 to pay the attorney fees of the other side. So all of this is going on in the system. And my basic point, and I'll leave these copies for testimony and details, which will fill in years of abuse, both by the court, by the attorneys, and by the plaintiff in this case. But the bottom line is, and the message that I want to leave with you, there's 2 messages. One is that in this testimony here, in one of my briefs, I presented the court with something with a directory and outline of which says U.S. Constitution's parental rights. This is case law from state, federal, and Supreme Court. And it lists dozens and dozens of parental rights according to case law. What I have to say that everything I've been through has violated every single one of these case laws. And it has resulted in my not having my kids, and worse off, I think, my kids not having me around.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions?